down.
The GE Genesis series, the most iconic but little overrated locomotives to talk about in Amtrak. However, showing their age, Amtrak decided to replace them with an unreliable AOC-42s and later E1s, and which is why I didn't make an episode about them before they've been retired. In May 2011, during Amtrak's 40th anniversary, Amtrak repainted 6 of the engines into the predecessor's paint scheme, from Phase 1 to Phase 4. Any paint scheme that Amtrak has is now part of the locomotives. However, out of all the heritage units, one unit managed to stay in service while the others just disappeared. And this is the engine story. 145 was a P-42DC built in February 2001, hauling long-distance passenger trains for Amtrak, north or south, east or west. In May 2011, it was Amtrak's 40th anniversary, celebrating 40 years of its service. In return, Amtrak repeated 6 of the units into the previous paint scheme from Phase 1 to Phase 4. 145 was eventually repainted to Phase 3 paint scheme, along with 2 other engines, a 22, a P-40DC, and a 406, an F40PH and PCU, equipped with a generator. 145, along with the other units, will pull the exhibit train all around the world to showcase Amtrak's history. After that, 145 will continue life on Amtrak, just hauling passenger trains around Amtrak's system. On February 19, 2016, one day before my 6th birthday, 145 was involved in an inspection train with 822 from New Orleans, Louisiana to Jacksonville, Florida, as Amtrak was thinking making Miami, Florida as the final destination of one of Amtrak's long-distance trains, the Sunset Limited. It used to run from California to Florida, but now ends on Louisiana. The plan is still in review as of the making of this video. Then 2 years later in 2018, the 145 will pull Reno's fun train with the 822 again. So it seems 145 is going to have a happy life on Amtrak, hauling just not only regular passenger trains, but also special trains, until January 2018. On January 31st, 2018, 145 was transporting politicians and lawmakers on Train 923 or the Congressional Special, which used the concerts from the Cardinal, where at Crozet, Virginia, the locomotive crashed into a dump truck, not only damaging the nose, but also derailing the engine. Reports shown that 1 person was killed, while 6 others were injured. After the accident, the National Transportation Safety Board, or the NTSB, led the investigation, with some help from the Federal Railroad Administration, or the FRA, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or the FBI, Albemarle County Police Department, Amtrak, and the Buckingham Railroad, who operates the rail line for CSX transportation. On February 21st, 2018, the NTSB published a preliminary report on the accident. The train was traveling about 61 miles per hour when the engineer engaged emergency brakes. When it said the gates were already down when the truck entered the crossing, according to the lead locomotive's front-facing camera. By the time the crossing came into view, the truck was already inside the crossing, right before the impact. After the accident, 145 was taken to Beech Grove shop in Beech Grove, Indiana, and was ready repaired and returned to service. Today, 145 still runs on Amtrak this day. However, her days could be numbered, as Amtrak was ready to retire the older Genesis engines for the newly unreliable AOC-42s and later the E-ones. The console has been done back in 2017 when the Siemens SC44s had replaced the older F59PH eyes on the Amtrak with self-liners. So let's hope for 145 for being one of the first ever Genesis to be preserved. However, you may be asking, why did you choose this engine in particular? Well, there's actually a pretty good reason for why I chose this engine. Not only because it's my favorite, it's the only 40th anniversary heritage engine that's still standing strong to this day. Well, what about the 5? As for the 5, 66 was placed into storage in Beech Grove, Indiana, following an accident with a truck. Later, 156 and 822 would follow along in 2020, 3 years later. 406 was sent to Albany, New York for upgrades along with PTC being installed, instead being placed into storage for Amtrak's new Aero fleets. And lastly, the 184, the infamous one, was repainted back in May 2023 into Phase 5. But Jay, we had the 130 and 164 into the full 45 anniversary paint scheme. Why wouldn't you count that? Because those engines were never initially planned to be repainted into Amtrak's previous paint schemes. Don't believe me? Well, check me. These are the images that I can find of 130 and 164 back in 2011, and shows that they're still in their Phase 5 paint scheme. Means that Amtrak never had plans for these two engines to become heritage units. So, those are my reasons why I chose 145 for this particular episode, because she is the only 40th anniversary heritage unit to stand strong even to the days of the Chargers on Amtrak.